right, everybody. Fresh Takes with Russo and Felice. I am Paul Russo. Look at a little bit of changes around here. It's nice. We got some festive Christmas stuff going on in the studio.
I love this time of the year.
We got some new mics, so we're going to be testing through some fun stuff tonight with everybody here on a fresh edition of Fresh Takes with Russo and Felice. I'm Paul Russo. Hopefully the quality of the sound at least sounds better. That's what we're aiming for. Across from me, as always, man, myth, legend himself, Nick Felice. Nick, how you doing? How you feeling? Obviously, we're gonna discuss some fun stuff involving you and your football teams this weekend that occurred.
Yeah, first of all, how do I look with the new mic?
You look good. You look dapper.
Yeah, just fresh off, our Paul Russo's Thanksgiving bocce debut, 2-2, finished in the 5th, 6th place spot in the loser bracket. But got the Syracuse basketball game on my phone right now, keeping you live updates. Because it's been a big week for Syracuse. Syracuse football, Dino Babers staying as the coach. Big news.
Right.
Everyone else is fired though.
Position guys got fired. We'll be discussing a lot of that, obviously, and
at least you got a coach.
Yeah, full I think Freeman's the interim, but we'll get to that. But yeah, full disclosure, obviously, with tonight, if you see me diving below to get headphones and fiddling around a little bit more than usual, it might take a delay to get over to Nick. That would be why. But we're looking forward to that. Fun, exciting stuff going on here at FamilyX1.com. So
yeah, and Romulus with the big win last night.
Well, that's true. We need to probably next week dedicate some time. High school basketball getting going again. So, but really, we've been alluding to some stuff here. I'll pull up the topic list. Obviously, what we're doing this week, NFL and NCAA. But really, we'll take probably that last usually 15 minutes that we usually do. But we're going to discuss free agency, the impending lockout, barring a miracle at this point. Really interesting because I don't want to dive too much into it. I thought we wouldn't see any of the major free agents signed before, and that's pretty much the exact opposite. Now it's looking like most of them have signed before.
Yeah, I don't want to jump ahead, but
crazy.
It's kind of like that when a store is closing.
Right.
They put up a sign, everything is 80% off, and that's what a lot of MLB players did. They know the doors are locking tomorrow. Or Thursday.
Well, tomorrow's the last day they can negotiate. They have until 11:59 p.m. tomorrow night to do so.
Yeah, Manfred's locking his door and he's going to bed. So
we'll see. Anyway, yeah, I think we got really. Bocce didn't go as we hoped.
No, 2-2.
1-2.
2-2.
2-2.
Yes, 2-2.
All right.
2-2. We beat the kids there, and then we beat a family team there.
Oh yeah, the Giovanetti.
One's about our shot there, but
your shot. I didn't do a shot.
I'll
stay away from that.
2-2. Good finish.
Right. So
5th place, whatever you want to call it.
Who ended up winning?
The Baker team.
Really?
Beat the Hanlon team in the finals. Yeah.
Beat the super team.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It was a good finals. They went undefeated.
All right. Let's get going then. Let's do it to it. NFL Week 12. Obviously, 3 Thanksgiving games. Full weekend slate pretty much. Only 2 teams I think were on bye, something like that. So
yeah.
A lot to touch on there.
And it finished off with America's team.
Right.
Winning on Monday night.
Washington, baby. But yeah, let's start obviously with the Bills. Nice bounce back win, 31-6 over the Saints. Sets up this week's matchup against the Patriots quite nicely. Bills looked really good. For the most part there, I think, you kind of hope, kind of like what's been their Achilles heel in a way, right, has been the run game for them. And I kind of wonder, to a degree how well they'll do in the long run with that still again. But Breida overall kind of looks to be that guy this year, be the bell cow, and hopefully that remains the same in essence. I don't know if that's the plan. They're kind of doing a really weird thing in my mind, kind of rotating Zach Moss in and out and Singletary in and out, but I don't know. I mean, Josh Allen looked really, really, really good. Your defense looked really good, all things considered, especially since that's where you've been banged up and still will be banged up, unfortunately. But a nice solid win. The Saints, I still think, are no slouch of a team really to face for the most part. But they're in an interesting spot, so I don't know really where we're exactly going to go quite with them. And then the other New York teams, right? Jets and Giants both pick up wins. Both were on red zone at the same time at one point in the dual box, being in the red zone together.
You enjoyed that?
I didn't see red zone this week, so I don't know. But Jets at one point were down 14-0, and came back to win 21-14. Giants looking good. Unfortunately, looks like you might be without Daniel Jones at least for this upcoming week. With a neck injury, kind of week to week. Looks like Mike Glennon.
He's not Eli tough.
Well, it looks like Mike Glennon's going to be starting the way it sounds.
He's not bad.
So much so not bad that you signed Jake Fromm from the practice roster of the Bills. So just a heads up there. And, yeah, I mean, I kind of threw the Lions in there again because it's been fun to watch them just be in torment at this point. They've become a meme.
Did you see their odds to win the Super Bowl?
No. But
I don't remember how many zeros it is, but if you put $100 on them, you win $1 million. And just keep in mind, they still have a mathematical shot to make the playoffs this year. So if you want to drop 100 on the Lions, win the Super Bowl, you can win $1 million.
All right. But yeah, I mean, there's just another field goal loss. Poor Dan Campbell, poor Man Campbell. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, there's some other, I guess, main quick things. I mean, the Bengals has completely rolled the Steelers. The Browns and Ravens played in the MAC championship game. It might as well have been on Sunday night. Packers win the shootout with the Rams pretty much. That game had a lot of offense quick after about the 5-minute left mark in the second quarter. Patriots just rolled. Obviously, Washington picking up a big Monday night win last night. Take that. The Raiders beating the Cowboys, who have COVID going through the locker room. So it's the NFL, baby. Still don't know who we would take number one overall, in terms of, who's going to be on top at the end. I guess it's been a fun year overall though. Week 12 certainly didn't disappoint.
Did you see what the current draft order is?
I don't know. I've 1, 2, and whatever, but I know 4 and 5 belong to the Jets, 6 and 7 or belong to like the Giants, and then 7 and 8 belong to the Eagles. Or I might have like a couple picks like flip flop.
Yeah, 4 and 5 go to the Jets, 6 and 7 go to the Giants, and 8 and 9 go to the Eagles. Pretty cool. Obviously, those are. Jamal Adams is the Jets.
Yep.
Justin Fields is the Giants, I believe.
Yes.
And the Eagles is Devontae Smith. No. Maybe.
I don't
know. Anyway, they all got like 6 picks in a row there. 2, 2, 2. Pretty cool. But yeah, Giants and Jets. I mean, this ain't the first time they both won on the same week this year. I don't think so. I think it has happened before. So obviously, Giants got a better shot than the Jets because the AFC is just, I think, more, loaded in the wild card race.
Right.
The NFC, there's that 7th seed, not very good. So anyone, even Washington, can get that wild card spot. We're not talking division. Because everyone makes fun of, you can win your division because it's so bad. But there's a wild card spot in the NFC that's up for grabs. So, it should be fun. I can't believe it's already week 13. We're already past Thanksgiving. It is a little later this year. It definitely goes into the new year now. So, I'm looking forward to that. Yeah, it's just, it was a good week. It's always Not as much action on that Sunday because there was bye teams, there was Thanksgiving, there was Monday Night Football. So not many teams playing on Sunday, but it was still, you had some good games. The Rams are a little concerned winning the big games. That's what I'm taking away. I don't know if the Rams can beat these teams when it matters most because they've failed every single time they play a big game. The Patriots are good. I do like the Patriots a lot. I think I've said this before. I think the Patriots are the favorites in the AFC. I think they're the favorites. Obviously, there's the Chiefs because the Chiefs' defense is starting to come around. They were on the bye this week, but it's starting to come around. Big fan of the Chiefs. Getting back to the Super Bowl right now. But the Patriots, I'd watch out for them.
Yeah.
I think you call me crazy. I think the Patriots got a better chance of getting the Super Bowl right now than the Bucs.
The Buccaneers.
The Buccaneers, yes.
You're nutty.
I think the NFC's tougher at the top.
I mean, the NFC is definitely more top heavy, but
yeah, that's why I think
I don't know if I'd go out on a limb and just say the Patriots have a better shot, a better path. When I think at the end of the day,
I don't know.
I mean, they gave up over 200 yards rushing to the Titans, who just shot themselves in the foot. I mean, I don't know. You still have. I think. I don't know. Something about the Patriots still holds me back a little bit.
It's because of the rookie quarterback.
It's not really so much because of that.
Who's the coach of the year right now?
In the NFL? Kingsbury.
Over Belichick.
Yeah. I go Kingsbury. 9-2. The Cardinals are 9-2.
Yeah.
Think about that. And we definitely didn't expect that out of that team this year. That's for sure.
No.
The only other team, the only other coach, I mean, Belichick probably is in the convo.
Matt LaFleur?
Probably. I mean, I don't know.
Dan Campbell?
Man Campbell, my guy.
He's actually done a really good job for that team, even though they don't have a win.
Right.
He
does not have like the players, and he's still really. I mean, this is like his first true head coaching opportunity. It's like the second time overall. He was the interim coach for the Dolphins like 3 years ago or 4 years ago, before they brought Gase on. Or was it after? No, yeah, it was before they brought Gase. So I don't know. We'll see. I think overall, in that grand scheme of things in the NFL this past weekend, injuries again playing a part to a degree, right? I mean, McCaffrey's out for the year.
Yeah, it sucks.
I mean, look, I don't know what to tell people at this point. Like, I wouldn't touch him in fantasy anymore. Like, I just wouldn't. Like, I wouldn't have this year, but to each your own.
Same with kind of Saquon.
Yeah. And I guess, like, we talked about this, for sure, I know, earlier in the year. But, like, definitely, like, the Saquon, Zeke's the one that has stood out to me since the beginning on this, right? About how we're all high on Zeke and he can't get out of his own way health-wise a lot of times. Saquon's there, probably, right? I mean, McCaffrey's there. I mean, I don't really care how much heat I'm gonna get for this, but like I've said from the beginning, give me a Derrick Henry, give me like a Nick Chubb. I mean, the guys for the most part just workhorses, and they've both been dinged up this year. It's like the healthiest running back right now is like Leonard Fournette.
Thank you for choosing both my running backs that beat you in the playoffs last year.
You need to put respect on my name in fantasy. I'm getting sick of it over there from you in your articles this year. Not to get too off topic, but again, another win in fantasy basketball, and there's no mention of me in the.
Hey, the article's not out yet.
Well, in your blast that you send out,
maybe I'll just
put respect on my name. That's all I'm saying. Put respect on my name.
But yeah,
picks. We want to do picks.
Let's do them.
All right, Week 13, Nick. Week 13. Start off with a doozy of a game. The Saints and the Cowboys on Monday night. Game is in New Orleans. COVID is an issue with the Cowboys right now. Of note, Mike McCarthy's out. Dan Quinn is the acting head coach for Thursday night. Sounds like we'll have a quarterback change in New Orleans. It seems like they're go Taysom Hill the way it sounds. Nothing official, but he's been taking the first team reps the past 2 days. It's weird. What the sad part about this is if it was Simeon, I'd be all over the Saints in this game, no question, because of the health problems going on with the Cowboys. But like, what are you gonna do with Taysom Hill?
How did he do last year in that one game?
I don't know. Doesn't matter. Like, we know what he can and can't do. It's not that hard at this point for DCs to plan against it. I'm going to go Cowboys here. I'm going to throw caution to the wind a little bit on that one. I'm going to go Cowboys.
Yeah, the Saints are playing terrible right now. They're a mess, especially after Winston went down. I'm going to go Cowboys in this game, but I wouldn't give them the division yet.
All right.
Just say.
First of the Sunday games, 1 o'clock window, Colts at Houston.
This used
Colts,
to be a big game.
Colts coming off a tough loss, admittedly, to the Tampa Bay.
I think they bounced
Texans,
back. I got the Colts.
I'm gonna go Texans here. Sneaky backdoor team, playing tough. Again, they probably. I don't know if they should have really beat the Jets, but also it kind of ends well on that front. Giants at the Dolphins.
I'm going Dolphins here. Without Danny Dimes.
Yeah, if Daniel Jones is playing that game, it's a different story again. But I'm with you. I'm going to go Dolphins.
It's at Miami, yeah.
Yep. Vikings at the Lions. NFC North battle. Big game for the Vikings. Back in the playoff hunt. Full thrust now. Excuse me.
Who are you going with?
Vikings.
Why, Paul?
That's the first time, by the way, I don't think you've ever broken the sound. We've never had a clip when you've done the Y on the board. I'm extremely happy about that.
All right. So
I just wish that you would speak up a little bit louder potentially here today. I don't know why.
I feel like with these new mics,
you're talking in such a soft voice overall.
I feel like with these new mics, it's better audio than visual.
I mean,
audio, like on iTunes.
Okay.
I bet you it's better.
Yeah.
Bet you it sounds
It should
nice.
be. Well, that's what we're hoping for. If not,
good job. But
if not, we're probably going to have to fight you out of principle.
yeah,
Vikings though. Why? I mean, why not?
Because the Lions. This is the game. This is the game.
Oh, this is where you're drawing the line in the sand with them.
This is when they win their first game.
Okay.
This is it. You heard it from me first.
Buccaneers at the Falcons.
Buccaneers at the Falcons is a classic. I mean, doesn't get any better than that. That's a divisional rival. But I'm going to go Tampa Bay in this one.
Yeah, this is probably about as close to a lock of the week as you can probably get for the most part, in theory. So yeah, Tampa Bay all day.
Okay. I didn't say all day, but you know.
Eagles at the Jets. Eagles just staying overnight in the Meadowlands.
Yeah, Eagles at the Jets. Yeah, what have they been doing all week? They just been chilling there? I mean, Philly's not that far.
Short drive down 95.
They don't got any chicken in New York, so.
What?
Chicken in Philly. There's only chicken. Philly cheesesteak.
Which is beef.
But I'm going to go Jets in this one.
Ooh, that's a but why if I've ever seen one.
I think New York. They got some problems in New York.
I'm going the Eagles here. This is a must win for them more or less.
Jets are going to start their first winning streak since 2002.
Win Corbett, shout out. Chargers at the Bengals.
You used to call them the Bunkles.
Well, this is an interesting game. If it was a month ago, I would be all over the Chargers in this game. No question, right? But they just have not been playing as good the past few weeks. Might call it, if you're part of the universe, Chris Cody curse on them possibly. I'm going the Bengals here though.
Justin Herbert versus Joe Burrow is going to be a good one. I'm going to go with Joe Burrow at home. Bengals. Win.
The Cardinals head to their original home, Cardinals at Chicago.
I thought St. Louis, but Chicago. Arizona at Chicago.
Yep.
I'm gonna go Bears in this one. I'm gonna go Bears.
I'm going Cardinals.
I think the Bears get a big win.
Okay.
This will be the big upset of the week.
And
Not the Lions.
Fire Nagy. All right, 4 o'clock window. Enter the late window, 4:05. Jaguars at the Rams.
Jaguars at the Rams. Those used to be some terrible teams when I was growing up. One was good. I mean, Jacksonville was good for a little bit there, but
same with the Rams.
I'm going Rams this week.
It's like the Rams, didn't make a Super Bowl or two.
I'm going Rams this week.
I'm going Rams as well. Need the win again. Need the win to keep pace. The other 4:05 window game, Washington at Las Vegas.
Who you liking this game? You liking your football team?
I do. I have overabundance of confidence now in them. Give me the football team.
All right. I agree with you. I think we'll go football team as well. They're going to get a big win on the road. Telling you, this division is not over.
Speaking of divisions not being over, we have the Ravens at the Steelers at 4:25.
Well, the Steelers, they played absolutely terrible on Sunday.
Ravens didn't fare much better. They just got the W in the column on that one.
Yeah, Lamar did not play well. He threw a lot of interceptions.
What's going on in the game, man?
Right now it is 109-107 Syracuse. 17 seconds left in double overtime.
Oh, boy.
Jimmy Boeheim on the second free throw. And he gets it to go.
All right.
Are they going to call timeout? Yep, timeout. Okay.
Right.
This game, I'm going to go. I already forgot what it was.
It's Ravens at Steelers.
Yeah, I'm going to go Ravens in this one.
Likewise. And then we have 49ers Seahawks at 4:25.
That isn't the Sunday night game?
Mm-mm.
I thought it was. I can't go Seahawks.
I can't.
I
can't either.
Even though I don't think the 49ers are that much better.
They're better enough. The fact that they have a healthy quarterback and a coach that's making decent.
Who's their quarterback? Who's their starting quarterback?
Garoppolo's at least healthy.
What about Lance? What happened to him?
I think he's still hurt.
All right.
Look, I mean, it's a different story if Russ is healthy. He's just not. And the Seahawks just aren't playing good. They just aren't.
They're not. They're terrible.
Your Sunday night game is your hometown Denver Broncos against your hometown Kansas City Chiefs.
I am a big fan of Dumb and Dumber, but I think it's in Aspen, not Denver. So, 10 seconds left. Indiana with the ball.
Oh,
they shoot the three.
I don't think we can really be doing that, but
they missed it. Anyway, Denver and who?
The Chiefs.
Going Chiefs. Even though I'm a big Denver guy.
I'm going Chiefs as well. Just better team right now. Drew Lock, nobody knows the quarterback situation there, so. And then Monday night, Patriots at the Bills.
Patriots at the Bills. Mm-hmm. Interesting game in Buffalo for Monday Night Football.
Yep. Only the second time since 2008. Did you know that? Steve Levy will tell you that if you didn't know.
I'm not a big Steve Levy fan.
I like Steve Levy.
I like Steve Levy, but he's got a C crew voice.
Jesus.
I don't think he's a B crew. I don't. He's definitely no A. I don't mind the other two, but Steve Levy gotta go. But he's a New York guy, so
off we go.
I'm going Patriots in this.
Wow.
And I guess he was fouled at the 3-point arc. So
Bills Mafia, listen. I don't usually do this with you. I usually don't ride with you. But here's the thing. Do you want Western New York to be rowdy? Do you want New Year Nick? Remember New Year's Eve 2018? We're in Rochester. We're at dinner.
Yeah, and the Bills clinched the playoffs. Yep.
And the Bills clinched a playoff spot.
Because Andy Dalton, who you don't believe is going to win this week.
And I forget which bar. Were we at Filger's?
Yes.
And
East Ave.
And I've never seen a place go more crazy for when somebody puts shout on the jukebox. Is that what they're calling it now still? Or touched you? I don't know. I might have just really dated myself.
Yeah, it was a good time. That was.
But Nick. Look, I don't know what I'm going to do New Year's Eve this year. You know me. I'm a fly-by-night kind of guy. But if I do go out in Rochester again and we just happen to be at Filger's, I want them to be playing shout, and the whole place is going absolutely bat shit crazy.
Syracuse wins by 2.
So give me the Bills.
All right.
The Bills, they make you want to shout for all the wrong reasons, but you know.
You know, it's a big game. NFC, AFC East on the line. But the Patriots have always owned the Bills, and they're going to own them again.
Whatever. Well, all right, Nick. NCAA football coming into Sunday. I figured really the only true coaching change we'd have to discuss potentially is Syracuse, but really everything game-wise has pretty much got overshadowed by the coaching carousel at hand. But we still had some games, so we'll touch on those quickly. Thanksgiving night, the Egg Bowl. Ole Miss came away victorious, but Michigan absolutely routs Ohio State. Michigan jumps up now into the playoff picture to 3. Your new 4, Georgia, Alabama, Michigan, Cincinnati. Ohio State fell.
Alabama's 2.
Yes. Ohio State fell to 8th. So they're done.
Who's
theoretically.
7th?
No, they dropped 5 spots.
Who's 7th?
That I don't know. I can look that up while I throw it to you in a minute. But, yeah.
7th could be
just absolutely wild stuff with the coaching carousel. I mean, obviously Dino staying with there after not securing a bowl berth, lost to the Pitt. Look, the vibe that I got from being, at the Dome and overhearing a couple people made it sound like the decision, and it clearly was, the decision on Dino had already been made one way or another, barring something extreme happening. Nothing extreme happened. Retain him. Wildhack pretty much put him on the hot seat, though, for next year. Don't know really outside of them firing Sterling Gilbert, the offensive coordinator, whether the position guys were really worth it. Maybe the tight end coach, I can understand. We don't utilize tight ends well at Syracuse, and we have had our fair share of marginal, very decent ones come through the past handful of years. Obviously, a guy like Max Ming, who is there, we underutilize him. So hopefully he stays. Obviously, transfer portal now looms for every team.
Spencer Rattler coming to Syracuse.
That's a pipe dream and a half. I obviously would not say no to it, but we have to.
Is Schrader gone?
No, Schrader will stay.
So he's there. So
yeah. He's technically next year going into a sophomore year.
Really?
Because of the COVID year, athletically, he's recognized as a sophomore.
He's a freshman this year.
Athletically, yes. The NCAA works in mysterious ways. But yeah, so the coaching carousel begins, obviously, right? Lincoln Riley takes the USC job. Which, to be fair, I think we all thought, for the most part, the catalyst team in this was going to be Miami. Because at the time, obviously, nobody was expecting Lincoln to leave Oklahoma. So now this puts everything into a tizzy, right? Yeah, now you have Brian Kelly leaves Notre Dame last night to go to LSU. Now there's another big spot there. It's about to be a nutty, really week. We have teams in the championship game and playoff hunt that now either are going to have interim coaches or have a coach possibly take on another job here. Obviously, Luke Fickell linked to Notre Dame. Notre Dame's, the way it sounds, going to give defensive coordinator, is it Mike Freeman? And Marcus Freeman, thank you. Pretty much a tryout run here in the bowl game that they'll have, whether it's in the playoff or otherwise. And which is fair. I think I said in our group chat, and I said to a couple other people, and I don't think everybody fully kind of grasps what I'm saying when I say that I think Tommy Rees should be the slam dunk hire here. I think next year would probably be rough, and that's all right. But the main issue is, and it happened today, I got the notification that LSU is going to offer Tommy Rees pretty much a blank check to come be the offensive coordinator there. And that's all fine and well. But Tommy Rees has quickly became a high priority target for teams to potentially be a head coach. What he was able to do with that Notre Dame offense this year in his second year as offensive coordinator, just incredible. So I think I that's the move I would do. He understands what Notre Dame, the culture is there. Pretty much, he's one of the, I'll call the Notre Dame cult legend. He doesn't probably sit as high up, as maybe like the Four Horsemen or Noon or whatever, right? But, he's probably on that like really weird, not as weird as Rudy plane as being, very good. I mean, he did have a cup of coffee in the NFL. So, look, I think Tommy Rees would be the move that I would make. I don't know. But like I said, if you don't go with him, like you can't be surprised if he's gone next year. It's just the way it is. Anyway, yeah. So Brian Kelly takes that job. So the Cincinnati jumping the gun. Cincinnati's Luke Fickell obviously linked. Matt Campbell linked with from Iowa State to that job. Now Oklahoma is going to become the catalyst team now, really, in this instead of Miami. They are linked to Mario Cristobal. They are linked to Cliff Kingsbury. They are linked to Lane Kiffin. They are linked to, obviously, take your pick. Mike Stoops is going to be the interim for the bowl game there. Obviously, Oklahoma definitely not getting into the playoff there, unfortunately, in the Oregon slot where they will be just on the outside looking in, depending upon what happens this weekend in the championship games. The conference championship games, rather. Yeah, just absolute madness. I still think Jimbo Fisher's probably going to have his head somewhere. I'll say this. I really do think he'll be at A&M still next year, but he'll be considering other jobs. I'll put it to you that way. I don't know kind of elsewhere everything kind of stands. I think, like Lane Kiffin at this point is either probably going to stay at Ole Miss or go to Miami. Like I don't see him wanting to go to Oklahoma. I don't think that's a good fit for him or the school. It's strange. It's a strange cycle. Like Mario Cristobal, and Miami's high on Cristobal. I think Miami would prefer Cristobal first and foremost, and that's the way it kind of sounds. But the Oklahoma job changes everything now. It just does.
What's a better job, Notre Dame or Oklahoma?
I think they're pretty equal in all honesty at this point, just the way alignment has become. Look, in full disclosure, I would probably lean more Oklahoma at this point. You're in a conference. You can market yourselves now with SEC, so you can say, hey, you're playing most of your games or half your games in decent weather, and Oklahoma doesn't get too bad until like January, so you can market that decently well, right? I mean, Notre Dame is, again, shooting themselves in the foot just because of TV contract money, more or less at this point.
Who do you think's going with jobs? Who's getting who? Honestly,
I mean, the Oklahoma thing is such a question mark because Cliff Kingsbury only has a year left on his contract with the Cardinals in the NFL, so that buyout's going to be easy enough as is. And apparently, the way it sounds, he would certainly listen to the phone call if it came ringing. The other name to watch in this is going to be Brett Venables, the defensive coordinator for Clemson. He's been the de facto Dabo replacement should Dabo ever leave. And I don't know what Dabo's deal is at this point. You know, I obviously, apologies to Jim Spina here. I don't know what's going on in Dabo's head. I know he was not a big fan of the NIL, and all of a sudden he is a fan of it. I don't know if it's because they had this down year. I don't know. Really, in all honesty, like Dabo strikes me as a guy who I think is loyal to a point, and he has shown that. To be honest with you, I think the only job he does take at this point is Alabama. He is a de facto tree member of the Bear Bryant tree. So Oklahoma is such a hurdle in this because I don't know which way they're actually going to go because they already have recruits decommitting. You have, you know, your guy that you thought was your future quarterback and Spencer Rattler transferring. And who knows at that point who goes pro within the team. So, you know, the way I think this is going to go down, Cliff Kingsbury goes to Oklahoma. At that point, Cristobal probably goes to Miami. Lane Kiffin stays in Ole Miss. Jimbo stays at A&M. I really think Notre Dame keeps it in-house. The players really do love the staff there. Now, that being said, I know the recruits, the early ones, have already said that they're going to stick around. Obviously, Brian Kelly doesn't recruit as much as he used to in terms of actually getting out on the road. He tends to leave that to the position coaches and coordinators for the most part, and that's the way it appears to be right now. But for the sake of this conversation, I'm going to act as if they don't stay in-house. Obviously, I think Luke Fickell would be the guy. That being said, Matt Campbell is such an interesting character in this because he's also linked to that Oklahoma job.
And Brian Kelly came from Cincinnati.
Right. So I'll go Luke Fickell, but I think it's a toss-up between him and Matt Campbell. Oregon becomes an open spot. I don't know who would go there at this point. It sounds, you know, at least in terms of West Coast football, it sounds like the Washington jobs are going to be staying de facto in-house.
Chip Kelly?
Chip Kelly's at UCLA.
Not going back to Oregon?
No. I think he's going to stay and find out what it's like to actually probably have to recruit directly against Lincoln Riley. Chip's got a decent thing going at UCLA. That shouldn't be twisted in this. He's got a decent thing going. So, what are your thoughts? Obviously, because you're directly affected by one of them, and
it's interesting. And my dad brought this up yesterday. He's like, could that be a knock on Notre Dame making the Final Four, knowing that their head coach is not there?
I mean, I don't think it can. You can't have that be a knock. Mm-hmm. You can't.
You know, it's just.
But this committee has shown weird things anyway. Yeah. So
that's gonna hurt. But I want to talk more about the playoff this week since the selection show is on Sunday. Mm-hmm. And how many things does Notre Dame need to happen this weekend to make the playoff? I think they need 2 of the 3, whether it's Alabama losing, Cincinnati losing. Not Cincinnati. Well, Cincinnati could be a 4th option too. But then 2 of the 4. Cincinnati losing, Oklahoma State losing, and Michigan losing. I think they need 2 of those 4 to happen, and they're in. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, it becomes an interesting deal at this point because Michigan winning really does throw a wrench into this thing. I said it last week when we were discussing. The best thing that would happen, the best thing for Notre Dame would be status quo through this past weekend, and it just did not happen. It almost to the worst degree. You almost actually were hoping that Oklahoma would win in essence as well, just for like prop purposes, and they just didn't.
You giving Houston a chance?
I mean, they'll play them tough. They will play them tough. The Fighting Dana Holgersons, but I mean, I don't know. That is gonna be it's gonna be a tough game for Cincinnati.
That would be so depressing for Cincinnati.
Right.
They're in right now and they lose.
You watch how quick Luke Fickell would take a job if they were to lose.
And what about Iowa? What are you feeling about them?
Oh, they're gonna get smoked.
Really?
Oh yeah. They can't score.
What about Baylor?
That's actually going to be a fun game. You got 2 really good defensive teams in that game. So you want to let's just kind of do a pick'em style in a way because there's only 8 games. They're all title games. Game day is at obviously Alabama, Georgia for the SEC title game. So Friday night we have our first title game, the Pac-12, Oregon and Utah rematch of only 2 weeks ago.
That's right.
I think Oregon does get that. I think
Utah beats them again.
Really? Okay.
It looked impressive.
That is a toss-up game. I don't want to get that. I mean, really, to be fair, mostly all these games are toss-up games in the first place.
I can't believe we don't have any interest in the ACC game this week.
Well, it's actually the last game.
I know, it just has nothing to do with the playoff, though. It's nuts.
That's true. True. Well, it could. It could, and if they pull strength of the schedule nonsense. First playoff game or championship game is the Big 12 on Saturday. Baylor and OK State. I'm gonna go Gundy and them boys.
Gundy.
I think it's gonna be a shootout.
How old is he?
I think you're not gonna see some defense in that game. I'm gonna go shootout.
How old is he? About 40.
He's a man.
I'm going Baylor because I'm rooting for it.
All right. 3 o'clock, Utah State, San Diego State in the Mountain West.
San Diego State.
So I'm going to take the upset here. I'm going Utah State.
Interesting.
Utah State has covered 2/3 of their games this year, so they're sneaky good. Good defensively. San Diego State, primarily a full-fledged rushing attack. So it's going to be interesting in that game.
They are sneaky good.
Your Fun Belt title game here. App State, Louisiana.
Going Appalachian State because they know how to beat Michigan.
I'm going Louisiana. Their another head coach was in the cycle there. He forget his name off the top of my head, but he's going to Florida, so they will be under an interim coach.
Where did Lou Holtz's son just get fired?
Louisiana Tech.
Okay.
He's been there for like a decade. He's been there a while.
Yeah.
4 o'clock windows, the American, Houston and Cincinnati. We talked about that a little bit. I'm on Cincinnati, but I think Houston can cover. I really do.
Going Bearcats.
All right.
Are going in the playoffs.
Here's your probably biggest match of the day, Georgia, Alabama.
It was the first time in 92 games or something like that Alabama is an underdog. I'm taking Alabama in this game.
I'm going Georgia.
Taking Alabama.
Georgia,
and we'll never beat Alabama.
Alabama's on their heels, man. They're on their heels.
They'll find a way.
8 o'clock, Big Ten, Michigan, Iowa. Michigan all day.
Going Iowa. Going Hawkeyes. They're a reason they're the number one party school in the country.
And then Pitt, Wake in the ACC title game.
Pitt, Wake. Wake has been disappointing, man.
I'm on Wake.
I'm going Pitt. Wake doesn't win any of the big games. I'm going Pitt.
I don't trust Kenny Pickett wears gloves inside, so I'm going Wake.
Give me the Panthers.
All right, fair enough. All right, let's talk some MLB free agency and get out of here. So, obviously, start at the top of the show. Talked about a little bit here, but deals, and deals are getting done. So Max Scherzer to the Mets.
Starling Marte to the Mets.
Yeah, Starling Marte to the Mets. Let's see. Noah Syndergaard to the Angels. Oh, wait, hold on. We have Javi Baez to the Tigers. Eduardo Rodriguez to the Tigers. The Marlins somehow are getting in on this mix with Avisail Garcia and extending Alcantara.
Seager.
Who am I missing? Yeah, Seager to the Rangers. Oh, yeah, Marcus Semien to the Rangers. John Gray to the Rangers. Robbie Ray to the Mariners. The Blue Jays signed Kevin Gossman.
Steven Matz to the Cardinals.
Yeah. Yan Gomes to the Cubs. Either way here.
Jose Quintana to the Pirates.
What we're getting at here is the fact that a ton of guys are signed before the lockout, which we didn't think was going to happen, which is interesting.
Nothing in the Yankees.
Because, well, we'll get to that. Because, I mean, the money, there's going to be money at the end of this lockout. More money. And I'm telling you, because the Pirates got brought up in this by more and more sports writers. Again, Nick, it's something that we've discussed and something that we both agree on. There needs to be a spending floor.
Mm-hmm.
And the Pirates going into, I believe it was actually today, I know they signed Roberto Perez, so I was able to actually somehow bring their thing up because they only signed him, I think, for like 1.68 or something like that. Like, they were sitting, like, completely below, like, half the salary that the next lowest team was at. Like, something ridiculous. Like,
yeah.
So what that means, like, in the lockout, so, like, what we mean by a spending floor is the other leagues all have a spending floor. So hockey's the easiest example of this because their floor and their cap are probably the most tight compared to the other leagues. But so in the NHL, and I'm just going to use a rough number here because I don't think either way. So in the NHL, for instance, you would have to spend each year hypothetically $20 million on player salaries. So that means Jack Hughes for the Devils makes $2.5 million.
Actually, he just made a big contract.
That's why I use him as the example. So, you know, he gets paid $2.5 million on the year. But that, so, and so on and so forth at that point. Devils, until you reach, and you have to reach that $20 million floor at that point. But the cap in the NHL could be $50 million a year. So that means, obviously, if you hit to the cap and then go over the cap, you are in the MLB, it's the luxury tax, and every other league, it's literally just called a fine. You have to pay the fine. And it's usually you pay. It varies by severity. I think in like the MLB with the luxury tax, you get hit with it for one time. It's like 20% of how much you go over. The second time, it's like 30%, and then like the next time after that, it's like 50. It's a weird scale. But either way, you'd have to spend X amount of money in order to not be whatever. That's going to be a big part of this labor negotiation. Because the TV contracts in the MLB are a hot mess. Hot garbage. It's the least, again, it's well known. If you live in the great state of Iowa, good luck watching any MLB games, period. Because if you're in a spot where you don't have a de facto local team, but you're in a market, Iowa's the perfect example of this. Iowa somehow fits into 4 markets the Chicago markets, which count as 2 because of the Cubs and the White Sox, the Milwaukee market with the Brewers, and the Twins and the Minneapolis-St. Paul market because of the Twins. That means they have blacked out of 4 teams pretty much. And what's worse is if any of those teams are on national TV, you can't watch those games because you can watch them locally. Outside of, I believe it's Sunday Night Baseball, obviously. So the MLB has a big problem there. They all need to pony up the money for it. It sounds like that part is actually going to get done to some degree. I don't know how well. I mean, I think it's pretty well commonplace if you're a baseball fan, you're more willing to pay up some money just to watch and have the ability to pretty much stream any game you want.
How do we get live audio of these meetings?
Good luck.
Would you listen to it?
No. I can't. I wouldn't be able to stay and listen to some of these owners in Manfred or some of the, in all honesty, some of the players in it.
Now,
too.
what is it? Is it all 30 owners coming together?
So I believe at least tomorrow there are 7 owners there. I don't know which owners. That part I think if you do some digging you can probably find who's there, but I mean I haven't gone looking. I don't really have the want.
Who comes for the players? Who's the representatives?
So it's got to be technically somebody that's the union rep for your team or the assistant rep for your team. That being said, I can't remember who I saw is already down there.
Where are the meetings?
So they're meeting in Dallas, at least for tomorrow. I do know Max Scherzer's there. He's the one that I know is there because there was a big to-do about him technically being at the time a free agent and not being obviously signed to a team, and then he got signed to the Mets. And I guess the Mets have like a 4-way press conference tomorrow with Scherzer, Escobar, Marte, and I think Marquette is the other one because they signed him. Yep. So yeah, so it'll be interesting in that front. I think we can go even more in depth with this. We've alluded to it the past few weeks. I don't think playing the doom and gloom game right away, like right now with it's going to be fair. I think once the lockout actually happens, we can have a more full-fledged discussion on it. I think that would be probably the most fair option because, look, as much as it seems like it's a guarantee, it's not. They could somehow come to an agreement tomorrow. I think in order to do that, they would need 75% of the players voting or something like that. It's something weird. And even then, I think they would need at least 23 of the owners there, or at least voting on it. So
we've seen them talk before. They ain't come up with
this is going to be – look, I think I tweeted – I didn't tweet it. I did say it. It's going to be a long winter for baseball fans.
I'm going early February.
I think that's being a little bit generous. Here's what I think is going to happen. It seems like it's an obvious thing, and it is, but the only 2 ways it's going to happen is – this lockout's only going to last like a couple weeks, and they'll get the deal done. If not, I think this thing goes into March.
I got a question.
Go ahead.
When's the World Baseball Classic?
I believe it's next year.
That has nothing to do with MLB.
Actually, no, it wouldn't be next year because of the Olympics. I don't know in the next 2023 maybe actually.
It was supposed to be 2020, obviously.
Because of the Olympics, so it got.
Or no, 2021 it was supposed to be. It was supposed to be
right
this year.
Maybe it is next year. I don't know. Well, that has no really bearing in that essence on.
That has nothing to do with it.
Although the MLB has ownership in the World Baseball Classic, they don't have sole ownership. That also involves now the WBSC, which is the World Baseball Softball Committee, and they don't have the Olympic Committee does not have a full-fledged say in it, but they have enough of a word at the table. But they will go on behalf. They'll side whatever side the WBSC goes in this situation. So if they were to do the World Baseball Classic in this upcoming spring, it would happen. I don't know how good it would be, but it would happen.
We're defending champs.
It's true. America. But yeah, any thoughts? Because you're in a tough spot. Obviously, we had to use the Pirates as an example here today, but
it's fine. I just want to hear your thoughts on a quiet start for the Yankees offseason.
Yeah, I mean it. Excuse me. Yeah, I just again, if you're going to talk about how we need to get a top line shortstop and stuff like that, I mean, back it up. I don't have a problem with, say, signing in Andrelton Simmons, but don't come out of the gate right after you lose a playoff saying we're gonna go gung ho in the offseason when you haven't done that. And the fact of the matter is, I don't have the faith. I think they're gonna run this thing back. I don't think Boone's the right manager for the job, but I can't fault Boone when clearly he's just being the puppet for, really not puppet, really being the shield for Cashman and Hal Steinbrenner. It's just the way it is. Yeah, it's going to be it. Look, I think they're just so try and run it back.
Yep.
And it's not going to work. It's just not going to work.
Yeah.
Anyway. All right, let's get out of here, Nick. If everybody hasn't already, like, share, subscribe. All the fun stuff that helps us and helps Finger Lakes 1 do what we do best. We should be coming back to you next Tuesday, as far as I know. Should be a fun one there, recapping football again. A little discussion of high school basketball since that's up and off the ground. Nick, who are you shouting out this week?
I don't have anybody, but
wow.
Yeah, I'm just thinking. I've been thinking about it the whole podcast. Who could I shout out? I'm gonna shout out nobody.
Wow, first. We have a first.
I got you. Excited, but I'm sorry.
It's all right.
Yeah, I'll come back next week.
All right, fair enough.
No one's birthday this week.
And speaking of coming back next week, we'll be back next week. All new, fresh takes, Russo and Felice. Like, share, subscribe, all the fun stuff. We'll catch you here next week. Fresh edition.